Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Kyle Cobalt here with Family Firearm Reviews, and today we're going to check out the CZ P07 Suppressor Ready in Urban Gray. So this is a neat little firearm. It's got a lot of features right out of the box. That's going to be awesome that you don't have to upgrade, and you can run a suppressor right on it. And one of those features is these nice metal suppressor height sights. That's really something that's great right out of the box. But before we get into the rest of the features, let's get into the numbers. The barrel length on this firearm is 4.36 inches. The overall length on the firearm is 7.9 inches, and we have an overall height of 5.8 inches. We're looking at a 1.46 width, and we are running a 28.7 ounce weight right here. Now, we do have a single double action trigger. Right now you can see with the hammer back, we've got our single action trigger, and when we pull that trigger, we're running around 3.5 pounds. There is a bit of take up there. Now, you can see our double action trigger is going to be substantially heavy. Once you hit that, you got the wall, cock the hammer, and fire the firearm right there. Nice crisp trigger right there, and you can see the reset. When we are out there on the range today, it's a nice short reset. You can hear it, and then you're right back on that trigger and firing again. Now, it does come with a threaded barrel. It does come with the protector, which is nice. Sometimes they don't come with these protectors. The protector does get loose. It doesn't have, the washer or anything in there, the crush ring to keep it on there tight. So that is something you're going to have to check every now and again, make sure it's tight before you get to firing. But that's very nice with our suppressor ready firearm. So with this firearm, you do get your typical CZ features. We do have a decocker in the rear, so we can decock the pistol. It is ambidextrous, but what's nice is they do give you the pieces and parts to swap it out for that safety if you want. It's a pretty easy process. You got to pull out a spring, remove a few parts, but you're able to swap this out for the safety, which they even have the red dot underneath the decocker, so you can see that that's already set up on the firearm, and it is going to change your trigger a little bit, might make it a little bit lighter. Now, we do have the thinner slide because we do have the internal rails, but they've done quite a bit of serrations on the top and the rear, so a little bit more aggressive than the 75 that we shot earlier this week. Now, it has a nice spot right here for your finger. You've got a nice little pad for indexing, and you have some nice grip area. You're able to get a nice undercut, nice bite underneath there. That beaver tail is very, very nice. It keeps your hand very comfortable in there. Now, you can also swap out these back straps for small, medium, or large. Oops. So you can put these on there, and you can change the grip size to fit your hand perfectly. We went through Italian grips on there because I kind of like some aggressive grip, something a little bit better to grab onto when I do have that out there. So this is pretty comfortable. We do have a nice, supposedly it's supposed to help with snag this hammer when you put it in that decock mode. So if you do end up using this as a carry pistol, the P07 is a carry pistol. It can be used that way. With these suppressor height sights, that's going to be a little bit of a drawback. And then with the threaded barrel, you're going to have a slightly longer barrel. So that's going to be something too that may be a drawback here. Now, when I was looking for a holster for this, it's very hard to find one that suits the suppressor height sights. There's a lot of P07 holsters out there, but you have to make sure there's one that's rated for that suppressor height sight. I had to go through about 3, said they were rated. They weren't quite good enough. I have not found a good inside the waistband holster yet, but I found a nice outside the waistband so I could run this at the range. It does come with the nice metal magazines. They are stamped to 15, but they've got the +2 on the bottom, so they're 17. So you get 2 of those, but what's nice is the 75 mags actually work in this firearm. So you can run the 19-round CZ 75 mags in there, make it nice and easy. You can run the regular 15-round mags in here. They'll just fit flush instead of having this little bubble on there, right? So this one, because it was suppressor ready, they did a little bit more of a tactile job with it, with the release and everything like that. So if you flop it around here, you can see we have the right-handed slide stop slide release. We have our mag release that is swappable right there. And then we have our nice trigger guard. There's not a huge undercut here, but you can see it does slightly slope up. We've got some stippling on the front of the trigger guard, so if your paw is big enough to get out there, you can reach that. We do have our full pick rail, which is definitely something you're going to want, especially if you are going to concealed carry either this P07 or just the regular P07. You want to have that option to put lights or lasers or whatever you're comfortable with on here. Now, the sights, again, metal sights, 3-dot night sights coming out of the box. They look really nice. When I was queuing this up a little bit here before we got to shooting, it really gets that barrel out of the way. It really gets you a little bit higher on that target. This is the first set of suppressor heights that I've actually dealt with. Oh, no, that's wrong. We did the Stoker that had suppressor height sights. So this is the second set. And I really like these because it kind of gets that barrel out of your picture, gives you a nice clear view of your target. You don't kind of get obscured by anything in the front. I think that'll be nice if you end up running a suppressor on this. Now the threads under there are 1/2x28, and we do have our polymer lower with our steel upper. So you're gonna get a lot of longevity out of this, and it's cutting down on that weight. It's not a fully metal firearm, so it's not too much weight when you're carrying it all day. So now let's get down into the ammo. So out on the range today, we're going to run our lax reloads, the 115 grains, a little bit dirtier ammo, so it's always good to kind of do a durability test with this firearm. We're going to run our Gecko 115, and we're going to pull the other 50 rounds out of this box and run this Winchester white box through the firearm. So we are going to run the 17 round mags, and then I am going to run some of the larger CZ75 mags to make sure they are functional. They look like they're going to work, but we're going to double check that for you today. So let's do the important stuff and get out to that range. So we're out here with our CZ-P07. I'm going to take 2 3-shot groups with the little bench rest we have here, see how that works, and then we're going to pull that away. I'm going to aim at one of the other targets. I'm going to do an accuracy test, and then Lauren's going to try bench and then accuracy. So we're going to take a little bit, see how accurate this P07 is right out of the box. First 3 shots, really nice. I went right through actually one of my other bullet holes, so that's a pretty accurate firearm right there. So I'm going to adjust up a little bit, or yep, down actually a little bit. Give myself a little bit higher on that target. Take the next 3 shots, and we'll go from there. First 6 shots. This is actually a pretty nice little setup for 28 bucks. I'm actually really impressed with this so far.
I'm not always the queen of accuracy, so I'm gonna see if this little bench can't help me group up in the top right like I'm going for. Pretty good.
Go. Now that we've done our accuracy test with the bench, I'm going to run it without the bench and see how good we really are, because we can see this pistol right out of the box is really nice. I think it's actually beating the CZ75 that I had out here earlier. I'm going to shoot bottom right hand corner. This is a nice, accurate gun. I'm really excited that we got this. Wow. Like, wait till you check this target out.
All right, I'm gonna do my 3-shot handicap-free accuracy test. Kyle's was phenomenal. I don't expect to be as good as that, but this gun's really nice, so I'm hoping that it helps me out a little bit. I'm gonna go for the top left.
Tell me you're ready. So out here on the range, we did our accuracy test. So far, so good. Really liking how this shot. Even without the rest, I was doing pretty good there. So we're gonna go across, check out the spread, take a couple shots through here. We do have our holster, and we did have to get the one. I mean, it even says right here, P07, right? We had to get one that could fit the suppressor height sights, and it's a thumb release, so it does fit in there, and it works pretty well. We're gonna run the standard mag, and then we're gonna run one of the 75 mags through here, just to show that they are compatible, or see if they are right now. We don't know, so let's try it out. Huh. Ran good, and I actually knocked the center out of one of those targets. Shot it right in the middle of the clay. This is a nice soft shooting gun, and it's not nearly as soft as the 75 was because it has a little bit less weight, but the recoil control is good. You're able to get right back on those sights very quickly, and the accuracy was great. So let's keep going.
So we're gonna run that 75 mag through, see how that compatibility works. We think it's gonna work, hopefully it works. I did a little better after a couple of the adjustments we made with my accuracy test. I didn't hit everything that I wanted to, but I made a definite increase in the shots hit from where I was from that first accuracy test. I like the weight of it. I can go through a few cycles, a few mags, really put some rounds through it without getting tired, without having any like problems holding it up. Pretty happy with it. I think it just needs a little bit of work, and it's going to be a keeper for me.
Now that we've got our first 150 rounds through this firearm, let's get our final thoughts. So we just finished up our 150 rounds with our CZ-P07 out here today, our Suppressor Ready Urban Gray firearm. We really had a good time with this. I really think this is one of our new favorites.
Yep.
When we bench shot it, we shot it just regularly. Accuracy was great, going through our setup, hitting all the plates. Like, you know, we miss every now and again, but that's, you know, trying to force shots or speed shoot. No malfunctions, no issues. The mag compatibility is nice, right? So it does come with the initial 15 plus 2, so you get 17s. But the 15-round mags will fit in this. It'll just fit more flush, right? Because they do make kind of a carry version of this firearm. But then the 75 mags, as you saw Lauren use, fit perfectly. Now they're a little skinnier, but they do lock in there. But if you look right here, they are a bit skinnier than the 75 mags. The 75 mags do not work the other way around. So I can't put my P07 mags in my 75, but I can run my 75 mags in my P07. So that's kind of a nice thing. It gives me a lot of options for my mags because now we have a CZ75 and now we have the P07. So I just have extra mags for the P07, which is nice. Now, when we changed out the back strap, it was very comfortable for our hand, and it does give you adjustability. If you have bigger hands, you can make this fit a little better in your hand. The stippling is nice here for your grip, and then the slide serrations are really nice. You can see right here, they're a little bit more aggressive than they were on the 75, so you've got a little bit more meat to grab a hold of. And with those internal frame rails, it's really nice and smooth to rack that regardless of which set you are using. So what do you think?
Everything about the pistol, how you hold it in your hand, how you're setting it up, racking it, all of that, all of the controls, they're smooth, they're easy to use. Like you said, where the serrations are, they're aggressive enough that you don't really need to get in on that. I mean, everything's just where you want it to be. I really like everything about it. You had mentioned when you were shooting it earlier that it has those higher suppressor sights, which we had also had on that Stoker. I shot that brilliantly, and this, I needed a little adjustment after the accuracy test, and once I made those adjustments, I was spot on for the rest of the day. I really think that that higher sight is a preference for me, which I never ever knew about before a few weeks ago. Overall, I really enjoyed shooting it and the weight of it and how it feels in the hand. I could carry that. I could shoot that all day. I wouldn't have a problem with that. And for me, that's pretty rare, and that's a big bonus for a gun.
Yep, all the controls work great. They're right here, the decocker. We may want to swap out for that safety just to give that a shot because the trigger is very light, lighter than actually the 75 tactical that we have. I really enjoyed this trigger more than the other one. I felt like this is more comfortable for me, so I think I'm going to swap to this and run these in my IDPA shoots. So I think this is going to be my new favorite, and I can't wait to, you know, go through, maybe swap out to that safety, see if that affects the trigger. I've done a little bit of research, and I heard it makes it even lighter, a little bit crisper. So I think that that's something I definitely want to give a shot. The mag wells are nice too. They're kind of flared, but you have no issue getting these mags in. With this extended piece in the rear, it's easy for you to funnel that mag right in there. And then again, it does have those two little grips here, so if you do have to strip it and it gets stuck in there, you're able to strip that mag out of the firearm. You've got the nice red followers that you can see in there, so when it does get there, you know that there's no round in there. It's easy to tell. And then even on the 75 mags, you've got the blue one. So it's easy to look down in there and know that, did you have a malfunction? Is there something stuck in there, or is the firearm unloaded? So I think there's a lot of great features wrapped up into this. I think the next one I want to look at is just the regular P07. Maybe drop down these suppressor height sights, maybe use that for carry, slightly smaller barrel. I think that's something we're definitely going to have to look at and run them head to head with the Suppressor Ready and the regular P07.
But I think this is definitely going to be a gun that you're going to see a 1,000-round review on, with some accessories, with some changes. I think this is definitely going to be something that we keep bringing out and we keep shooting for sure.
Definitely. One drawback though, for some people, it is not optics cut, right? So it's not optic ready. You can't run, your optic on top, but that pick rail, you can use this with a lighter laser. So it would still be a good concealed carry. I think the suppressor height sights are a drawback for that though, right? I've had no luck finding a holster that fits. I've bought 3, had to return 3 because they don't fit. Local stores don't really have them. So I may have to get one custom made for this for an inside the waistband if I wanted to carry this. But other than that, that's the only drawback I've had. The holster that I got with the thumb release works great out on the range. Tried it out today.
Really easy to use.
And it was inexpensive. I think I paid 30 some dollars for it, maybe 35. And I picked it up off Amazon. So I think that this is definitely going to be something we bring out to the range. I definitely want to run it through the IDPA shoot, run it through kind of like that little pressure test. And I think it will do swimmingly in all of that. So if you like the video or like any of our other videos, let us know your experiences with your CZs. And then also there's some links down below. Check those out. We have a Patreon and we do have a store there that you guys can check out. There's some of our gear, some of the shirts that Lauren designs, right? Because she's the creative one here. And if you like those, go ahead and purchase them. We do this all on our own, and not that we're going to stop, but any help would be nice. So we appreciate your time. See ya.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching our video. Make sure to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. If you liked the video, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel.
Comment below. We want to hear from you. Get more content from Family Firearm Reviews by joining our Patreon and checking out the links in the description.